क्वेसन के हो भन्नु रे
Okay, let's start with your introduction, ma'am.
Pardon?
Let's start with your introduction about.
What?
Yes,
Please, before you put on, what is...
Okay, go, ma'am.
Running? I came to Nepal after the earthquakes to help. And when I was here, I was sharing on my Facebook what I was doing, and I had suggestions on who I could help to work with when I was helping. And one of these suggestions were links to the Swedish organization Love and Hope. And when I checked it out, I could immediately see that this was fraud. This is not true. This is not how it works. There's something terribly wrong here. And I also knew they were very big in Sweden. I had not checked them out before, but they were growing extremely big in Sweden. Only last year they raised $4 million. And I could see their stories. This is not true. They are not doing what they're saying. So this made me to keep a closer eye on this organization and has brought us here today.
Can you give us information about the founders of that organization?
Pardon?
Founder of that organization. Who did that?
The people in the organization is the founder, Michael Alvén, and his spouse, Ingmarie Alvén, and also the sons, Johannes, Jonathan, and Nathaniel is working in this organization. And the background is a missionary background, and that's how they started this as part of it. Their Love Nepal organization. First it was called Love Nepal, and then it changed name to Love and Hope. And in the beginning, that was part of the missionary organization.
They came here. They came to Nepal as part of a Christian missionary.
They, as far as I understand, they met another missionary in Singapore, and this missionary introduced Michael to this problem here in Nepal. And later on, Michael decided that he will start to support the Lighthouse Foundation, which, when he stepped into it, was already founded, and they were already having a home with, I think it was about 34 children by then. But Michael and Love Nepal decided to explain all the work that Lighthouse do as their own work.
So what do you want to do how do you want to take this case now?
I'm not part of this case. I have just helped to help other people to protect their rights, to take action. And for me, this is an example of a big international problem, how Western people, Western organizations take advantage of the situation in the poor countries. And I have been to the UN here in Kathmandu and talked to them about the international importance in this, that this is not only about a small organization, it's a global problem. And I will do my best to bring this up on a higher international level, where this will only be an example. I will not work in this case, but use this example to bring attention to it internationally. At least I will try, and we'll see where it reaches.
How did they fraud?
Pardon?
How did they commit fraud?
The fraud is several parts. They did not fulfill the agreement that they had with Lighthouse, how to raise money and how the raised money will be used. But it's one point that there is one part that I try to put even more attention to, is that I'm a bit of a public person in my country, not big, but people know about me. It is not allowed to use me or my face to raise money without my permit for any purpose, whether it's good or bad or whatever. One must have an agreement. Love and Hope has raised money on this organization's work with the employees and the children without permission, as they have raised money for other purposes, which is not agreed. They have, from last year, they raised $4 million, out of this $4 million, only $380,000 reached Lighthouse Foundation. So they have raised money on these people, on their work, for other purposes. And this is also important to pinpoint. But there are several parts in this fraud.
How did they raise money?
The way they raised money was mostly through the social media, where the Facebook account site was the number one. And they wrote these extremely emotional and detailed stories about the work, how it was done, how they were operating as secret agents in the brothels in India with the risk of their own life. But they were not doing that. But that's how they raised the money. And they were also putting up pictures of the girls, telling the most emotional and detailed stories about the background. Sometimes it was not even truth. That the girls have been raped several hundred times, they've been to brothels and everything. And this they just send out in the social media with the girls' faces, which would never ever be acceptable in my own country. You don't do like that.
Would those girls fake or those girls they highlighted in social media?
Yes.
The photographs were they really sold in the Indian brothels or they were all fake?
Some of the girls had been to brothels. Even though they have been to brothels, you don't put up the stories in that way in the social media. But some of the girls had not even been to brothels. They have never been raped, nothing. But they still used their faces and their pictures and created stories about the girls. They have also raised money in meetings around in Sweden, in churches and all different kind of events, and also been many times in TV and articles in the media. Only last year, from themselves, they say that there've been more than 200 articles in the Swedish media about the stories only last year, and the stories are very heroic. They're like heroes in these stories, and they were also awarded as the hero of the year last year. One of these guys.
Where are they now?
As far as I know, they're all in Sweden right now. One of them said that he was going to India, but it seems like it has been cancelled or postponed or something. As far as I know, they're all in Sweden.
So how your campaign in Nepal here? You have come in Nepal and you are appealing the Nepalese media and Nepalese government to take action against them.
Yes.
How do you expect us? How do you expect the Nepalese government to do that? To catch them, punish them?
When
Yes, they are.
catch them?
They are in the hide now. Yes.
no, they're not in the hide. I think they're all at home or whatever.
They are in Sweden.
Yeah.
And how do
What
you?
is the legal procedure now?
Okay, the legal procedure.
How do you persuade Nepalese government or other concerned authorities? You said you have already filed a case in at tourism police. How do you expect them? Okay, let's say what is the legal?
I got it. This far, the Nepali organization Lighthouse has reported 4 members of Love Nepal to the police, and the police have taken the case very seriously, and I've been following it and also encouraging everyone as far as I can to do this in the correct way. And Nepal has taken it seriously, and only a few days ago it went from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to the Swedish Embassy in Delhi to be sent forward to Sweden. That means that Nepal has done as much as they can this far, and now in this game the ball is in Sweden. It's up to Sweden to decide how they will react in this.
Where is that company now? Where was that company?
Pardon?
While they were doing all this fraud, where was
Sweden, ma?
No,
that one company?
नेपालमा पनि Sweden.
They've been in both Sweden, India, Nepal, in
Partnership
different
गरेको
places.
हो कि यिनीहरू?
But they will also been acting here while they've been here several times.
How are these Love and Hope and this Jyoti Foundation related?
पार्टनरसिप गरेको के यिनीहरूसँग अनि पैसा खाएर भागेको थिएँ
अनि खासमा
What is my demand? I don't really have a demand. I'll just
what do you expect how
what I
this
wish.
case to be resolved?
For me, it has been important for Nepal to react on this, which they have. This is which I found very, very good. And
उसले बोल्ने होइन
I wish and hope that this will be brought attention internationally to encourage other organizations and other countries to put on the foot when they've been abused or whatever. And hopefully one day we can discuss this on a higher level around globally, that this behavior is not okay. And the poor countries have very severe difficulties to protect themselves in this situation. And cases like this, the attention to it and how seriously Nepali authorities had taken this is a very good step. The next step is to spread the word about this and to continue the work in the same direction. There need to be more cases like this, plenty of more cases like this, and we also need to discuss how we can prevent organizations to take advantage of other organizations in the poor world that cannot defend themselves properly. This needs to be discussed on a higher international level, and also in each country, that how can we prevent this from happening.
Thank you, ma'am.